Have you ever needed to know when Salesforce licenses were running low or have run out? Kahindi will walk you through how to receive an alert related to Salesforce license availability. Welcome to 100 Days of Trailhead, where the tech community comes to learn Salesforce, learn tech, get inspired, and invest in ourselves. We are your trail guides, here to support you on your learning journey. We release videos weekly. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a video. In the description below, you can find links for everything we mention in this video, as well as books and resources we found useful. Visit our blog, 100daysoftrailhead.com, for other helpful Salesforce and tech content. It is important to know when your organization is running out of Salesforce licenses. Email alerts can offer a great way to get notified when licenses are running out. Kahindi Oshini is a Salesforce Golden Hoodie recipient and an 8-time Salesforce certified administrator. He is adept at using Salesforce.com platform and other cloud-based technologies to optimize business processes. Kahindi is a senior Salesforce administrator too at PagerDuty and a member of the Salesforce Admin Program Advisory Board at JVS.
Hi everyone, this is Kahindi Oshini, and I'm here to show you how to use Salesforce Flow to send email notifications to stakeholders when the org is running out of user licenses. A number of organizations do not have a way to get notified when they are running out of SFDC licenses, and because it takes time to procure more licenses, some new hires go without access to Salesforce until more licenses are added. This is really not a good way to onboard new employees. Doing a search online for a solution returns kind of emphasize that there isn't an out of the box solution to this, and it would require some kind of out of the box thinking to get this done. So using Flow, it's easy to follow a simple process to get an email notification sent out to users, and that is what we'll be demoing to us today. So I would exit the slideshow to show us how to get this done. So we would go to the Home tab in Setup and put in type in flows, and then click New Flow. So we would choose the record trigger flow. This allows us to call the flow definition upon record save, and there won't really be a need to create a process builder to call this flow. So we'll click edit on record, and then we'll choose when a record is created or updated, and because we want to send the email after the record has been saved, we will choose after the record is saved. And click done, and then we'll choose the object on which we want to trigger the flow. In this case, it will be the user object, and we want the flow to run when a user is activated. So choose the global value true, and then click done. Next is to retrieve the user license information upon the record save, and we would use the get record element here. You can give it any label that you want, but it would be nice to make it as descriptive as possible so that whoever that is looking at it later on will understand what exactly we're trying to do. So I will name this retrieve Salesforce user license info, and the object will be user license. So the reason why we're using the flow here is that this object is not available via workflow nor process builder, so we're using the flow. So there's different user licenses in Salesforce. There's the Salesforce licenses, there's the platform user licenses, but we want the Salesforce user licenses, so we would filter this down. So the name equals Salesforce, and we would want to store, it's just one record, so we keep it as only the first record, and then we want to store the fields and make sure they are assigned to variables here. So we would get the record by storing it in another variable, which will be variable, and then we can name it var. We can name this user license info, and the data type would be record, and the object would be user license. We don't have to allow multiple values because it's just one record, and we only check this if we want to use values out of this flow somewhere else, maybe in another flow that perhaps is calling this, or we want to make it, we want to reference some of these variables as an output value. So we just keep this unchecked, and then we click done. Make sure you have it selected, and then you can go on to select the fields you really want to work on. So we would select total licenses, and we would select use licenses because we would need them later on, and then we click done, so we can connect these two together. Next is to assign. So what we want to do is to get to retrieve whenever the user is activated. We want to check the status of the used against the total, so we can get what is left, and then you can use that as a way to trigger an email. So we'll name this assign remaining licenses. And we would store this in a variable. So we'll have to create two different variables, one to store it and one that would have the calculation done. So I'll have this saved as remaining licenses, and the data type would be number. We want to do decimal places. Again, we don't have to check these fields, so we click done, and we'll click new variable. This is where we would have a formula that would get the remaining licenses. So I just make this jar remaining licenses, and data type will be number as well. And here we just want to retrieve from the record the total licenses, and then minus the record used licenses. So this will give us the remaining licenses upon record save. Click done, and then click done. So we would link this together as well. And then next is that we would want to decide based on the number of remaining licenses if we want to send an email or not. So I'll name this, in this case we want to send out an email when we are running out of users, and the threshold is 10, so we have less than 10 users. So I would have this users, and the label would just be less than 10. And so we would reference the remaining licenses here, and then we'd say this is less than 10, and that's it. We click done, and then we connect this also. So the next thing we would like to do is when the number of users is less than 10, we would send an email. So we need an action element here, and we can search for send email action, and the label can be send email notification have API name that way, and we would like to specify the body of the email. One of the options I like to explore is to create that as a variable and then reference it here, so that if we need to make any changes, we just make that change in the variable. So in this case, we would choose the resource type would be actually a formula, and we can name variable email body, and the type would be text, and we would just need to put in some content. So you can customize this if we just want to get that information out to the user, to the stakeholders, regarding the fact that we're running out of users. So here I would just type you have. So because we need to concatenate, we would use this sign ampersand, and then we would embed the variable, because it's a number variable, or it's of a number data type. That's the remaining licenses. We would put that in the text function. So I'll go into the and then pull the resource that we had previously with the remaining licenses here, and then I will close it and put another ampersand, and we can have Salesforce user licenses left. So we want to specify the number of used and then the total. So we would have another ampersand and then text. So we can just put a space and then we'll bring in the from the retrieve record. We would have used licenses, and so we want to say this clearly. Then we'll have out of, and then so we want to say that, say 10 out of 15 has been used, and so we'll bring in the total licenses here. So total licenses, and we'll bring the ampersand, and we'll have the text here, and then we'll have another ampersand. So have this, and then we would have the quote sign as has been used. Okay, so you have, say, 10 licenses remaining, or 10 Salesforce user licenses left, and so that would be perhaps 40 out of 50 has been used or have been used. And so we would click done, and then you can reference that variable here. The subject, we can also do the same thing. we can have a formula, and then we can say subject, and then we would have the data type as text, and we can just have this alert. You have, so we just put remaining licenses here just to show that in the body and the subject of the email. We'll put the ampersand and the text function, and we'll have this. Just put in space. Salesforce user licenses. I'll let you have this number of user licenses left, and click done. So you can put in a global, like a system email. Perhaps you have monitoring tools or incident monitoring tools, maybe like PagerDuty, that would create an incident so that stakeholders can get an alert and then can act on it. In this case, I'll just put in my email, and we would have this, and the sender email address can be left blank. The sender email would be the email associated with the org. Else, if you have other system emails within the org, you can put them in here, and then click done, and we would connect the decision to the action, and then we want this to only occur when we have less than 10 users. So I will click save. Hopefully we don't have to debug any errors, but it's fine if you have to debug. It's just an opportunity to learn. So I'll click save, and then I would say user threshold notification, and click save. So let's hope we don't have to debug anything, and then we'll click activate. Next I would navigate to users, and we have this is a developer, so I only have two active two licenses for the Salesforce user. So this is the other one that is currently inactive, so I would click edit. So we are assuming that we are activating a new user within the system, so I'll click active, and then I'll check the box, and then hit save. That should trigger the flow, and we can check the email for that. So this is the email that came in, and you can see have alert. You have 0 Salesforce user. That's really bad. Access is left, and then the body has the detailed information. You have this number of licenses left, 2 out of 12 have been used, and you can really customize this information, make it really nice, sad at this, but this is just to keep it very simple. I hope you really learned a lot from what.
And with that, we're at the end. Are you going to set up an email alert for Salesforce license notifications? Do you track Salesforce licenses in another way? Comment below. We would also love to hear what video topics you want us to cover in future videos in the comments. If you've made it to this point, we want to take an opportunity to say thank you. Since you stayed with us, here is Kahindi's bonus tip. Be dedicated to lifelong learning, engage with the Salesforce community, and mentor an upcoming Salesforce enthusiast. Thank you for spending time with us. Please like and subscribe to our channel because we share weekly content to support your tech and Salesforce learning journey. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss a new video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. Connect with us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and on 100daysoftrailhead.com, all of which are listed below. Thank you for learning with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.